So today we'll be discussing about the glories of Srila Jiva Goswami. He's one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. He's the youngest Goswami of the Vrindavan. I mean, when it comes to these 6 Goswamis. Vande, Rupa, Sanatana, Raghu Yuga. Sri Jiva Gopala. So Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. They were the head of the entire community at that time. And then we have 2 Raghunaths. Raghunath Das Goswami and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. And then we have Gopal Bhatta Goswami and the youngest Jiva Goswami. He is youngest, but we'll understand how he is greatest also. So Srila Jiva Goswami appeared in the year 1511. That's the approximate date, the year that is given. And when he appeared, he had the signs of Mahapurusha. So I discussed this on the day of when we glorified Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So these great personalities, they will have big forehead, big ears, and broad chest, and various things on the nose, various parts on the face raised, and so on and so forth. And all these symptoms of Mahapurusha was there in Jiva Goswami. And we will see all our acharyas like that. Most of our acharyas. Obviously, some acharyas hide themselves that they are Mahapurusha. But most of our acharyas, they had these symptoms of Mahapurusha. So we can also check in the mirror if there are some. But then we might get some symptoms by some artificial means maybe. But when we understand their glories, then we understand what is the definition of Mahapurusha. Jiva Goswami's father's name was Anupam. And Anupam's 2 brothers' name are Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. So you can see Jiva Goswami's uncles were Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. So Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they were serving under a Mughal king at that time. Today we sang Ashesha Mandalapati. They were great ministers. And they were having huge salary. Huge. At that time, I'm talking 500 years back. Huge package. And having that package, it's very difficult to think of giving it up. But then they had such a huge package, and as soon as they heard about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they just gave it up. On their appearance or disappearance, they will discuss their glories. So when they understood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to a nearby place, Ramakeli, so they went to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is standing at a far distance, and these 3 brothers, they went and they are paying a straight obeisance to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they are begging and praying to him that we are fallen souls, please accept us. We are untouchables because we are serving an untouchable king. Our activities are untouchable. Please accept us, oh Mahaprabhu, please accept us. So at that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that please give up your humility. Your humility is cracking my heart, breaking my heart. And all this discussion was going on. At that time, there was a small boy who was observing all this. So this was the year 1514. So our Jiva Goswami, our Jiva, was just 3 or 4 years old, and he was there on his mother's lap, and he was observing this entire divine discussion that was happening. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking to Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami are submitting themselves to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this intense samvad that was there, this was witnessed by Jiva Goswami. At some place I also heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made a statement that after you two disappear, the person who will take forward the entire mission is that Jiva. So he pointed towards Jiva Goswami. I couldn't get the reference of this, but I heard from senior devotee he spoke like this. So in this way, we understand that how Jiva Goswami got darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the age of 3 or 4. Very, very wonderful. Now what happened is, after this particular meeting the same year, his father, Anupam. So he was traveling, with the other two brothers, and they were traveling to Puri. In one of the travels, he left his body. And this was a great traumatic situation in the life of Jiva Goswami. So he heard about this. You can imagine a small boy, 3 or 4 or 5 years old boy, losing his father. So he lost his father. And that was a very, very terrible situation for Jiva Goswami. And that was the time that he had complete renunciation in his heart. In fact, just by looking at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami in that divine discussion, at that time itself, he was completely renounced and he just wanted to submit himself at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Can you imagine? Not even KG section. Abhi tak admission hua hi nahi hai. And this person is thinking about completely surrendering to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these are our acharyas, so glorious. So glorious, such a young age and thinking about surrendering to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when this particular incident happened, when his father left, it affected him. And then he decided that he just wanted to leave everything. Now with time, in fact, when his father was present, at that time itself, now you can imagine his age when his father was present. At that time itself, Jiva Goswami had beautiful deities of Krishna and Balram. Krishna and Balram were the life and soul of Jiva Goswami. He would not go around and play Gilli Danda or something, Goti or something like that. He'll not be wasting time like that. Just the only thing that he will be doing was having the deities, bathing them, massaging them, dressing them, making garlands for them, cutting fruits for them, offering, doing parikrama. And not just this, when he would sleep, he would have his deities close to his chest and then sleep. And his parents would keep telling, at least at this time you give them up, keep them somewhere. No, they're mine. Holding the deities to the chest, and I would be sleeping. Looking at the attachment of Jiva Goswami to their lordships, Shri Krishna and Balram, parents understood that he is going to be an intense devotee, a renunciant in future. And also it's very nice to understand that during his school days, when he started going to school, so studies and all, obviously he was a great scholar. But then when he would get time, he would go in seclusion, have his deities close to his heart and cry piteously, begging and praying to them about various different intense prayers of getting closer to them. जब हम स्कूल से आते तो क्या करते थे? बैग यहाँ फेंक दिया, socks यहाँ फेंक दिया, and mother will be shouting, "What are you doing?" So for us, our parents were crying, but for Jiva Goswami, he was crying. Yes, he was crying in separation from the Lord. Oh, these are our great acharyas. And one thing is very clear, from his childhood days, he was always immersed in Krishna Katha. He would speak Krishna Katha, he would hear Krishna Katha. And no one would dare to come close to him to speak any Gramya Varta, any mundane talk. People would be scared. They would also come and speak about Krishna only, he'll also speak about Krishna. This is how our acharyas, right from childhood, they set an example, no prajalpa, intense Krishna Katha, always. So in this way, we understand that how Jiva Goswami's childhood, the tender childhood it is, in that only was immersed in Krishna consciousness. His mother also played a very important role after his father left. So she was a single mother, she was taking care of the child. And she would also make sure that she will give Krishna conscious dose to him every day. She will speak from Ramayana, Bhagavatam, Mahabharata. And the best part was, Jiva Goswami's questions were so complicated at that time itself. His mother, would scratch her head to answer the question. What are you asking? And she would fail to answer the question. He is that scholar, Jiva Goswami, right from childhood. So our Goswamis don't become scholar, they are born scholars. Yes, they are born scholars. And at the same time, along with Bhagavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc. and other Puranas, she will also speak about the glories of Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. Because he had seen Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. They're uncles. No, surely he might have met, he might have played or whatever. So when he would hear about Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami's glories and what services they are rendering in Vrindavan, at that time he would just have one determination in the heart: I have to go to Vrindavan and submit my life at the lotus feet of my uncles Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Small boy with so much of determination, surrender to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, submit oneself to Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. I just want to do intense devotional service. These were the only thought process, and that's what he would speak, and that's what he would hear, like to hear. And then when he started going to school, that was another level of astonishment for people around. In that young age, when he started learning Sanskrit, it is described he mastered it in no time. To such an extent that even teachers were astonished. And they would go and tell the mothers, your kid is awesome. He's get such a great scholar. I don't know what our teachers were telling to our parents. Kuch sikhao usko dhang ka? Nothing it does in the school. Always gossip. Talking here and there, making others' kids cry. Look at Jiva Goswami. This is the difference, this is the difference. Being the great devotees, being the eternal associates of the Lord, they manifest that how great they are, right from childhood itself. One day, when he was busy in his activities of devotional service, this was night time, and suddenly, Jiva Goswami started loudly shouting the names of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Krishna and Balram. And he was not able to sleep. It's not that his rounds were not finished. He was intense in his mood. He was calling out to the Lord. He was just turning this side, he was turning that side. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, he slept. And that day when he slept, there was a divine dream that was there. He saw his worshipable deities, Sri Krishna and Balram. And then the same deities, they turned and they became Sri Gauranga and Nityananda. And Jiva Goswami, in that dream, he fell flat in front of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And it is described that Gauranga or Chaitanya, he lifted Jiva Goswami and placed him at the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. And in that dream, Nityananda Prabhu, very mercifully, he placed his lotus feet on Jiva Goswami, blessing him. And he blessed, saying that you take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now this was the divine dream. And when he got up, he had all those memories. He remembered all that divine thing that happened, and the only thing that he was able to do was loudly chant Gauranga, Nityananda, and rolling on the ground and crying in ecstasy. Dreams may be revelation. And also it is described that all the time he would be talking to his mother that I want to go to Navadvip, I want to go to Vrindavan. And his mother was not telling, Nahi, who will take care of me in the old age? You be with me, you take care of me, you work for some time, get married. She would tell, very soon you will go. Very soon you will go. And she was willing to send. He was willing to send. So this was in the year 1528. So 1511 he appeared. So 1528. How many years old? 17. So in this young age, 17 years old, he decided now he has to go. So he told that I'm going to our ancestral house, Fatehabad. I'll go there and meet them. But when he left for that place, from there he went to Navadvip. He took the boat and he went to Navadvip. Now when he went to Navadvip, there he met the great Avadut, Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Maham Naumi Sarvanandam Karam Param Harinam Pradam Devam Avadhuta Shiromani. He is the Shiromani of all the Avadhut. He is that great personality, the most merciful one. He met Nityananda Prabhu. And when he met Nityananda Prabhu, he was just rolling on the ground. He was taking his blessings. And like in the dream, Nityananda Prabhu blessed him. Like that, physically, Nityananda Prabhu, he placed his lotus feet on Jiva Goswami. I don't know if you understand what does that mean. Great mercy, great mercy. And Nityananda Prabhu, when he started speaking to Jiva, so at that time he said, I rushed here from Kardaha only for your sake, only for you I came here. And then Nityananda Prabhu said, Chalo ghum ke aate. He took Jiva to all the important pastime places in Navadvip Dham. The first Navadvip Mandal Parikrama was done by Jiva Gosvami. And who was the guide? Sakshat Nityananda Prabhu. Can you imagine that? How wonderful that yatra will be. So, Nityananda Prabhu took Jiva Goswami to first Srivas Thakur's house. And there he told about the nocturnal kirtans that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would perform. And from there, he asked Srivas Thakur that please bless him. And then Nityananda Prabhu took Jiva Goswami to Sachimata. So Sachimata was there, Vishnu Priya was there at home. And they were very happy to receive Jiva Goswami. And Nityananda Prabhu I was asking them also, please bless him. He's Jiva. And then various different places Nityananda Prabhu took him. So after this entire Navadvip Mandal Parikrama that our Jiva Goswami did with Nityananda Prabhu, so at that time he had a desire that, oh Lord, I have seen all those pastime places where our Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed his pastimes, Gauranga performed his pastimes in Navadvip Dham. I am getting an intense desire. That I should go and see the later pastime places also of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. For your information, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing his manifest pastimes in Jagannath Puri at this time when Jiva Goswami reached Navadvip. And it's not a very big distance also, you see, from Navadvip Dham to Jagannath Puri. So when this proposal was given to Nityananda Prabhu, so at that time, Nityananda Prabhu, he didn't give permission for Jagannath Puri. He said that you should go to Vrindavan. You should go to Vrindavan via Banaras. Now, it's a very important thing to note. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing his manifest pastimes in Jagannath Puri. Can you imagine? Gambhira, Tota Gopinath, Gadadhar Pandit is there. And then Swarup Damodar, Ramananda Rai, Govinda, all of them, they're performing pastimes with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in ecstatic pastime mode at that time. Who would not want to take darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And here Jiva Goswami just some distance away from Jagannath Puri, and he's expressing his desire, I want to go to Jagannath Puri. At that time, Nityananda Prabhu is like, no, you have to go to Vrindavan. Now, if we would have been there, we would have said, okay, I'll go to Vrindavan, but first I'll go to Jagannath Puri. We'll talk about it later. While coming from Jagannath Puri, again I'll visit you in Navadvip. You tell me what has to be done in Vrindavan. I'll do that also. But I have to go to Jagannath Puri. But these Goswamis, they're setting an example that how a missionary is. A missionary always keeps his desires secondary. Doesn't matter if the desire is of taking darshan of manifest pastimes of Gauranga. Doesn't matter. They keep their desire secondary, and missionaries are the ones who keep the mission as primary, as their goal, as the priority. And we see here, Nityananda Prabhu said, go to Vrindavan. And Jiva Goswami, without any hesitation, he considered that as his life and soul, as the greatest instruction, and he just left. So Nityananda Prabhu, he said, go soon to Vrindavan, that place has been awarded to your family, to your father and uncles, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and therefore you must go there immediately. This we see in all our acharyas. Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, and Shyamananda Pandit. All three of them, they were very happy in Vrindavan. They were happy in Vrindavan, being under Jiva Goswami. Their spiritual masters were there. Govinda Dev Mandir is there. Madan Mohan Mandir is there. Jamuna, and the entire place. And one day Jiva Goswami calls them and say, full day book distribution. He calls them and say, not just full day, full lifetime book distribution. And they were taken aback because they were very clear that we are going to live in Vrindavan forever till our last breath. And they were told, no, you have to go out for book distribution. And guess what they did? No, I'm going to remain here in Vrindavan. I'll not go anywhere. I'll not step out of Vrindavan. Oh, Jiva Goswami, do you know the importance of Vrindavan Dham? How can you send us out of Vrindavan? Nothing like that. Jiva Goswami told, they just left. They just left out. They just left Vrindavan Dham for a mission. Same thing with Prabhupada. He left Sri Vrindavan Dham for the mission. So in this way, our acharyas, they have proved that how mission is at the top, is at the priority, everything else becomes secondary. All one's personal desires become secondary. And one thing is very clear, that person who is not a missionary in the age of Kali, very difficult to sustain in devotional service. Maybe he might sustain, but he might not be able to grow. Because Kali personified has got his own instruments and weapons to kill the bhakti of the Kali Yuga Jivas. And Kali has got his own agents around. And those agents are very strong. Their materialism is stronger than our devotional service. Anytime they can take over, anytime they can just cover us completely, and our bhakti will be destroyed. Therefore, those people who are missionaries, who are working for the mission, keeping mission at the priority, they are the ones who can grow in devotional service very nicely. And we can see when Srila Prabhupada left this world, there was a huge chaos in ISKCON at that time. Huge chaos. There was a dip that happened. Huge dip in the ISKCON's progress. And at that time, many people left ISKCON. Many people left. But you know who survived? Those missionaries survived. All those people who had that instruction of Prabhupada at the topmost priority in their list, they were the ones who kept ISKCON together, and they were the ones who survived, and because of them today we are also surviving. It's a very, very important point to note that how the missionaries can survive in the age of Kali doesn't matter how many ups and downs come in one's own life. And here we see Jiva, such a great missionary, manifest pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is happening, and he has agreed to go to Vrindavan instead of going to Jagannath Puri. So Nityananda Prabhu told him that in future you're supposed to lead the Vaishnava community. So become equipped with all the Siddhanta that is needed. You should know all the Siddhanta. And therefore, you should go to Banaras. And there's a great disciple of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, whose name is Madhusudan Vachaspati. Under him you study all the Siddhanta that is there. And guess what? This great personality, following the instruction of Nityananda Prabhu as it is, he started from Navadvip, he went to Banaras. This was the same year, 1528, he's just 17. He went there, and under the guidance of this great personality, Madhusudan Vachaspati, he studied the Siddhanta. He studied the Siddhanta, he studied the opposing elements also, the philosophy of opposing elements, because Banaras is known for the opposing elements at that time, the Mayavadis. He learned the Vedanta philosophy, and he learned all the auxiliary things that is needed within a very, very short time. Within a very short time, see, he was in Banaras. That's a place where all Pandits were there at that time, all scholars. In that assembly of scholars, our Jiva Goswami, our Sampradaya Acharya, he was known as the topmost Pandit there at that time. Can you imagine? And he became the favorite student of his master at that time, that is Madhusudan Vachaspati. And even today, I was hearing this, that Banaras Hindi University has got Jiva Goswami department. Jiva Goswami department, yes? How amazing this is. These are our acharyas. Even when they have left 500 years back, still the department exists with his books. Just to commemorate that he was a great personality who came here. So in this way, just in 2 years, Jiva Goswami did all this. Just in 2 years. He did all this. And he started for Vrindavan. And he reached Vrindavan in 1530. So 1528 he came to Banaras. 1530 is in Vrindavan. 2 years His glory spread everywhere in Banaras, to such an extent that he was called as the greatest Pandit of that place. So when he went to Vrindavan, so at that time, all the Goswamis were there. The 5 Goswamis were already present. Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. And along with that, there were other personalities. Prabodhananda Saraswati, Kashishwar Pandit, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. All of them with love and affection greeted Jiva Goswami, welcomed him. Brajbhumi mein aapka swagat hai, please come. Vrindavan welcomes you. They embraced him. They welcomed him. And Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they took the lead in requesting all the Vaishnavas, please bless our Jiva. Please bless our Jiva Goswami. After all, uncles hai na. They were very, very touched. They were very touched the way Jiva Goswami was received by all the Goswamis at that time in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Now, it's very nice that as when someone starts one's spiritual life, so now he is 19, 20, that's Jiva Goswami's age. So he decided to take initiation. The Varishta Vaishnava at that time in the 6 Goswamis was Sanatan Goswami. So Jiva Goswami went to Sanatan Goswami and he requested that please accept me as your disciple, please give me initiation, please give me Diksha. Now Sanatan Goswami's humility is next level. Sanatan Goswami said, Rupa Goswami is the right person, he can give you Diksha, please go there. And then he went to Rupa Goswami and he is begging that please accept me as your disciple, please give me initiation. And Rupa Goswami decided, let me test him now. Great scholar, no, he is. So Rupa Goswami wanted him to pass the test that he is putting. And what were the tests? He was giving all the menial services to Jiva Goswami. So Jiva Goswami was asked to prepare the deity. He was there in the deity backup kitchen. He has to make the aarti plate. He has to wash the paraphernalia there. He has to cook and he has to do the other things. He has to beg alms going door to door for Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. He has to cook. And along with that, some topics will be given. He has to research those topics and get. And he has to massage the feet of Rupa Goswami and prepare palm leaves for writing various verses, which Rupa Goswami would be doing every single day. Now sometimes, very wonderful to think also. It gives goosebumps when we think that these Goswamis in Vrindavan Dham, living a very simple, austere life, they just spent their entire life just for the mission. And what was the mission that was given to them? One of the things was to write scriptures. And they had those palm leaves, and in their beautiful handwriting, they would be writing the beautiful verses, which even today devotees relish and cherish. So Rupa Goswami was doing that every day. So who would be arranging the palm leaves? Jiva Goswami was arranging the palm leaves. And he was so expert in serving the Vaishnavas that Jiva Goswami, he would expertly serve without getting any complaint. Expertly serve. And Rupa Goswami was so pleased with his service, so pleased, that one day wholeheartedly Rupa Goswami called him and gave him initiation. So at that time, Jiva Goswami became the official disciple of Srila Rupa Goswami. So in this way, Srila Jiva Goswami, he was initiated officially in this parampara of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Now Jiva Goswami's Guru Nishtha was next level. He would serve Sanatan Goswami, he would serve Rupa Goswami. And he was very, very keen in serving both of them. Very eager to serve both of them. So once what happened is, a great scholar came to that place. His name was Rupa Narayan Saraswati. He was called as Digvijay. Now this personality was called as Digvijay because he would go to different scholars in the entire country and then challenge them for a philosophical debate and then defeat them, and then there will be a certificate. He'll ask them, sign here. Proof chahiye na? Sign here. And that's how he had many pages like that, many certificates like that. And all over India, he was victorious. And he had that Jaya Patra or Vijaya Patra with him. Wherever he would go and show, I have defeated these personalities. You want to debate? or you want to surrender. So some people would directly surrender, they'll just sign, नहीं हम नहीं कर सकते आपके साथ debate. And some people would call him, accept the challenge and have the debate, and he would defeat very easily. So this Rupa Narayan Saraswati, he got to know about these great scholars, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So he came to Mathura, and then he was searching who will be the best people here with whom I can debate. And at that time, he had heard about Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So he went to that place where these two personalities were there. They were busy on their mission. Busy. They were busy in their sadhana. So that time he said, challenge. And Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, we give up. We accept defeat. Because for Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they didn't have time for all this nonsense. Who cares about the victory page and that Jaya Patra and all that? They said, see, we don't know anything. But then Rupa Narayan said, no, but everyone is talking about you, that you're the great scholar. No, they are very kind, they just speak about us like that. Actually, we don't know anything. So then Rupa Narayan said, okay, no problem, okay, sign here. He took the sign of Rupa Goswami, he took the sign of Sanatana Goswami, and he left. Then he got to know that there is another great scholar, budding scholar in Vrindavan, and his name is Jiva Goswami. And he went and challenge. When he went there to challenge Jiva Goswami, so Jiva Goswami was also not very interested. He also is in the same line of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. He said, Phaltu ekdam, I am not interested in all this. But then Rupa Narayan, he started saying that your uncles Rupa and Sanatan, I have defeated them. Look at this, they have signed here in Vijay Patra. And at that time, Jiva Goswami, his blood started boiling. And he said, how dare you say that? It is their humility that they have signed. You have no stand in front of them when it comes to philosophical conclusions. And then Jiva Goswami accepted challenge. He accepted the challenge of this Rupa Narayan Saraswati. And they sat on the banks of Jamuna for 7 days. And philosophical debate is happening. Rupa Narayan is speaking, Jiva Goswami is speaking to and fro. And the 7th day, it was declared, and the winner is Jiva Goswami, Haribol. And this personality, Rupa Narayan, जो पेपर लेके घूमता था, पेपर छोड़ के चला गया. Now Jiva Goswami was very happy. So Jiva Goswami was so happy, he wanted to go and tell his Guru Maharaj, Srila Rupa Goswami, that this is what happened. I defeated this person. And even before he went and told Rupa Goswami, already the news has reached Rupa Goswami. And when he went to meet Rupa Goswami, instead of saying, Shabash, beta, very nice, you did a wonderful job, Rupa Goswami chastised him left and right. And Rupa Goswami said, you have prematurely taken to renounced order of life. Basically, tu bachcha hai abhi. You're just 19, 20 years old. Consequently, you are not able to conquer your anger and sense of pride. No one who rejoices in humiliating others or who asserts his own worth is fit to live in Vrindavan. Get out of Vrindavan. देखिए अभी सर्विस किया बेचारे ने, and the result of service is go out of Vrindavan. You are hereby banished and you should leave immediately. Now Jiva Goswami cannot tell anything, but for you, paper, for you I did all this. Nothing doing. Jiva Goswami heard that, he was very hurt. He took it to his heart and he immediately left Vrindavan and he went to Mathura. He stayed there in Mathura. And it is described that how he was staying. He was staying in a hollow of a tree. Maybe the tree was big and he was staying in the hollow of a tree. He ate simple food just once in a day, just to maintain the body and soul together. Jiva was maintaining his body and soul. And then he took a vow of silence that he will not speak. मैंने बोला इसलिए ये सब हुआ ना. He took a vow of silence. I will not speak. Now Sanatana Goswami, he understood that what had happened. So Sanatana Goswami, he went to Rupa Goswami And in a very nice, friendly way, he told Rupa Goswami that I see that you're not following all the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami was like, what? What are you saying? What am I not following? And at that time, Sanatana Goswami requested Rupa Goswami, okay, chalo, recite all the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And very diligently, very nicely, Rupa Goswami, with lot of care, because now such a allegation is put, with lot of care he started reciting all the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there came a teaching where Sanatana Goswami smiled looking at him. And the teaching was Jiva Daya. So the word was there, Jiva Daya. So literally it means being merciful to all the living entities. And then at that time Rupa Goswami understood which Jiva he is talking about. And then Rupa Goswami understood, and Sanatana Goswami said, he's already doing so much of austerity, he has repented so much, please call him back. And at that time, Srila Rupa Goswami calls Jiva Goswami back, and Jiva Goswami is back in service of his spiritual master with full enthusiasm, and he is jubilant, back in the service. So in this way, we see that Jiva Goswami's Guru Nishtha was very high. When it comes to the image of Guru, he was not able to take any black spot on that. No, he cannot. He defeated. But when Guru said, get out of this place, he just took that instruction as life and soul, he just left. So we see that how these great personalities, they have all these different symptoms of great devotees. First one we saw was how mission is at the top of the list. Always mission is at the top. And next that we see is how Srila Jiva Goswami, he had that intense desire to serve Sanatan and Rupa. It was not just the desire, he manifested the desire in the form of service. And along with that, a very, very important thing, when some strong instruction is given, he didn't say that I'll follow others and I'll reject this. He just took it as his life and soul and he followed it. Now see, Jiva Goswami is such a known personality. He could have gone to any Vaishnava at that time, he said, वो थोड़ा बाहर निकाल दिया, आप घर में रखेंगे मुझे? बस 3 बार खाना दीजिए, बस और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. And maybe a little space to sleep. And any Vaishnava at that time, they would have welcomed Jiva Goswami happily. Please come. But he decided, no, I'm an offender. I'm a premature renunciant. I don't have control on my anger. I'm not sensitive enough. I'm very proud. I should be getting punishment. And what my Guru Maharaj has given me, this punishment, I'll accept. And he was just there 1 year. He was just going through that entire punishment. Rupa Goswami just said, get out of this place. He never said that eat only once, stay in a tree hole and all that. But this was a self-imposed punishment that Jiva Goswami took for his own purification. Look at this great thing. No justification. No justification at any point of time. He just accepted the punishment and he just went forward with that. So when he came back, once when Rupa Goswami was resting, in the dream of Rupa Goswami, Sri Sri Radha and Krishna manifested. To be more precise, Sri Sri Radha Damodar manifested in the dream. And they said, please hand over us to your Jiva. And when Rupa Goswami got up from the dream, he carved the deity himself with his own hands of Damodar and he gave it to Srila Jiva Goswami. And Srila Jiva Goswami started worshipping Damodar and Srimati Radharani in the famous temple of Sri Sri Radha Damodar temple. This was in the year 1558. The temple was established in 1558. So we can see that how Jiva Goswami, he took those deities as his heart and soul. He was worshipping them with so much of love and devotion. So much of love and devotion. And this temple of Radha Damodar became the hub, the center of all the Goswamis. For your information, at that time already Radha Govinda Dev Mandir was up. Madan Mohan temple was up. Gopinath temple was up. And if you have visited these temples, you will see that they are huge. All these temples are huge. And in comparison to these temples, Radha Damodar temple is very small. But still, all the Goswamis would come to that place for the meeting. That was the center, that was the hub. And if you have gone to Srila Prabhupada's room, So Prabhupada also chose to be in that same place. His room is there, his kitchen is there. And outside his room, he has written this. There's a nice carving that is there, which says that Jiva Goswami's temple is my life and soul. So Prabhupada also had that place as his, the start of the mission or the hub of the mission. And all the Goswamis, at that time itself, they proved and established that this is that hub. This is the center of our entire mission. Talking about the achievements of our Jiva Goswami, please hear this carefully. When we hear these great personalities' glories, the only thing that we can do is understand how chutku we are, how small we are. And at the same time, we get a lot of feeling of gratitude that even when I'm not qualified to be part of this parampara, these personalities have accepted me. These personalities have allowed me to be in the parampara. How amazing it is. First thing, Srila Jiva Goswami wrote 4 lakh verses, out of which only 2 lakh are preserved, 2 lakh are missing, it seems. Can you imagine 4 lakh verses? How many verses are there in Bhagavad Gita? 700. Which we struggle to study. How many verses in Bhagavatam? 80,000. Someone, after we finished the shloka day of Gita, someone came and said, Prabhuji, Bhagavatam ka chalu kijiye to. मैं बोला उतना टाइम तो मैं जीऊंगा नहीं. 18,000. How about Ramayana? 24,000-25,000. Mahabharata? 1 lakh lines. Can you imagine people struggle to read all this? And here there's a person who's composing verses. And one of our devotees in ISKCON, His Grace Radhika Raman Prabhu, was mentioning this point. If I'm not wrong, he did his PhD in one of the small part of Jiva Goswami's work. He was explaining, that was going as a bouncer for me. I was not understanding what is that. But he was telling that only this much I took for my PhD work, and it took a long time to understand what it is first. Can you imagine? And Jiva Goswami's writings are like that, very scholarly. And those are not meant for common public like us. He wrote it for great scholars at that time. So first thing is great scholar. And I was very astonished. See, when someone is a great scholar, they'll be always immersed in study, immersed in writing, immersed in discussion. But at the same time, Jiva Goswami had a very important thing to be done at that time. See, we are talking about that phase of life, or that phase of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampraday's time, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. If I'm not wrong, this was in the year, when did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leave? 15? I don't have it in this one also. We can find out which year that was. I think 1570s or something like that it should be. So at that, 1534, not 1534 Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. And 1530 was the time when Jiva Goswami came to Vrindavan. Now please try to focus on this point. The Supreme Personality of Godhead who manifested at that time, who spread Krishna consciousness everywhere, whose direct disciples, the six Goswamis, especially the senior Goswamis who were there, and all the other Goswamis like Lokanath Goswami, Bhugarbha Goswami and others. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, these personalities also started leaving one by one. In fact, when Raghunath Das Goswami got to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left, he decided, what is the use of living in this world? He decided that I'll just commit suicide. What is the use? So that was the mood when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. Now just imagine when Prabhupada left, there was a dip in our moment. Just imagine at that time when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, what would have happened? There would have been a huge chaos in the entire setup. Huge chaos. So at that time, the only personality who was present as the leader of the entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara was Srila Jiva Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami was that sole leader who was managing Vaishnavas in Vrindavan, in Orissa, in Bengal. Because these were the hubs where devotees were staying and preaching was going on. So we can imagine how great his contribution is as a great leader. And also I was very amazed to know Sri Nityananda Prabhu's wife's name was Janavama. So Nityananda Prabhu took Jiva Goswami on Navadvip Mandal Parikrama. And when Janavama came to Vrindavan, Jiva Goswami, he took Janavama for Vrajamandal Parikrama. And he was the guide for her. And it is also described, see, when all these great personalities left, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, when they left, Janavama, she was leading the entire Vaishnava community. She was guiding devotees. She was also guiding the Goswamis in Vrindavan. But she would come to Jiva Goswami for advice at times. Now you can imagine the level of Jiva Goswami. How great this personality is. Also another angle which I heard, great manager. Now see, all these books, when it was left by all these Goswamis, Raghunath Das Goswami left books. He wrote many books. Rupa Goswami wrote many books. Sanatan Goswami wrote books. Then other Goswamis wrote books. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote book. So when all these Goswamis wrote the books, when they were leaving this world, so they wrote the books in the name of Jiva Goswami. So he is that only personality who is present at that time, who is supposed to take care of all these books. And all those books were brought to Radha Damodar Mandir. The reason why all the Goswamis would come to Radha Damodar Mandir, because they were knowing that in future the leader of the entire Gaudiya Vaishnava community is this personality. We should empower him. And all of them, they would come there. And when they left, their books came there. And it was Srila Jiva Goswami who set it up, a library to protect all these different books. He was that great personality who did that. And I was very amazed to know that how he had nice political connections also around there. See, we spoke about how great he was when it comes to a scholar. Then we spoke about how he was a great leader also, inspiring all the Vaishnavas and keeping Vaishnava community together. And now please hear how he was a great manager. He managed the books, but along with that, he managed the political relations at that time. So that was the time when Mughal rule was going on. Now please try to understand the entire heat at that time that was there. Because the Mughals were there, the huge fights would happen, they would come and conquer the place. And we're talking about Vrindavan Dham. So Vrindavan is between Delhi and Agra. And those were the places where these personalities would be staying. These Mughal kings, that was the, what to say, headquarters or capital. And even before also I did a little bit of research on this. That whenever these Mughals wanted money, whenever they felt that the treasure box is becoming empty, the only thing that they would do is start from their respective places, Delhi, Agra, come to Vrindavan, loot Vrindavan and go back. And they would have huge money. Because Vrindavan was that place where many people would come give donations, and the temples would be coming up and they would be offering various jewelries to the deities. So whenever they wanted some money, they'll come and loot Vrindavan, break the temples, go back. So all that was happening. Many times the temple were broken, many times it was built. Like that things were going on. And here we are talking about those temples which are standing straight even today. Govind Dev Mandir. When we enter that place, it's so beautiful, so very beautiful. The architect, the carvings are even now so fresh, so sharp and so beautiful. Or Madan Mohan Mandir. If we show any photo, and if we have the structure of Madan Mohan, any devotee of ISKCON can make out this Vrindavan. Radha Gopinath Mandir, you see that, such a beautiful temple again. Obviously not maintained very properly, but then the carvings and all is so beautiful. Now if all these structures are standing straight, it's only because of the great manager role that Jiva Swami played. I was hearing this and I was getting goosebumps when I was hearing this. That how Srila Jiva Goswami, he had developed good relations with Mughals through the Rajput kings at that time. So he was having good relations with Rajput kings, and through them, with the Mughal kings, he had this nice relation. To such an extent that he made these kings at that time, the Mughal kings at that time, to write an agreement saying that they will not touch any temple in Sri Vrindavan Dham. And only because that agreement was there, we see our temple still standing erect in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Can you imagine managerial skills of Srila Jiva Goswami? And also there I heard another point. Akbar at that time, he was so impressed hearing about Jiva Goswami's glories. He came to meet Jiva Goswami in Vrindavan Dham. And at that time, Jiva Goswami was asked what he wants and all that. So Akbar gave a land to build the Govindadev Mandir. This was in the year 1573. And that letter that is there, the legal document, that is still preserved in Vrindavan Research Institute in Vrindavan. Can you imagine? Yes. We are speaking about 500 years back. And by the way, the Mughals which they signed that document, the legal document, it was the first of its own unique kind at that time. And along with that, another thing which I would like to highlight here is before Jiva Goswami left this world, he did something historic which never happened before. He brought in at that time the first legal instrument, and that was the will. You see, people write will before they leave the body. Jiva Goswami did that first in India at that time. He wrote a will. And what did the will say? How the temple worship will happen. What procedures will be continued. And what will be the procedure in which the authority of the temple will be decided and passed on as the generations come. Can you imagine all this? Amazing manager, amazing. And also at the end I would like to focus on one aspect of being a great teacher. He was the teacher of 3 stalwart devotees. These 3 stalwart devotees, Narottam, Shyamananda and Srinivas, all of their spiritual masters were also great stalwarts. But they personally sent these 3 devotees to Jiva Goswami to learn Shastra. And Jiva Goswami acted as the Shiksha Guru of these 3 personalities. And Jiva Goswami, through these 3 personalities, he started the first preaching or the first book distribution. He was the one who kick-started the book distribution. You can imagine, to start anything first is not easy, especially when you don't have a printing press. As I already said, Jiva Goswami would arrange those palm leaves to write the books for Rupa Goswami. So all the manuscripts were there in that palm leaf form. Palm leaves. Nicely they were bound by some thread or something like that. You can imagine. Those books were given to these great personalities, these 3 stalwarts. And these 3 stalwarts were empowered by Jiva Goswami to go around, especially in Gaudadesh and in Orissa, to go there and distribute these books, preach the message of Krishna consciousness. So we see that this great personality was not just a great scholar, was not just a great leader, not just a great manager, not just a great teacher, a great preacher who created the next level leaders, the successors also. This is our Jiva Goswami. Such a great personality. Talking about his works, I'll just end with this. Huge list was there, huge list. 4 lakh verses, no? And that too now, when the devotee when I was hearing, so I heard only 2 lakh verses are retained. So here itself a huge set of books. Now you can imagine if all those were there, what would have been the case? The classic work of Jiva Goswami, which we keep hearing from the senior devotees, is the Shat Sandarbha, the 6 Sandarbhas. And then he wrote commentaries on various existing books, already existing books. He wrote Krama Sandarbha, which is also called as Srimad Bhagavad Tika. And then he wrote Tika on Brahma Samhita. He wrote Tika on another book of Rupa Goswami called Ujjvala Neelamani. He wrote Tika on Gopal Tapani Upanishad. He wrote Tika on Gayatri, which is found in Agni Puran, the Brahma Gayatri. He wrote Tika on Laghu Toshani, which is a commentary on 10th canto of Bhagavad Puran, based on Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Vaishnav Toshani. And then he wrote a commentary on Sarva Samvadini. And so many others, huge list. And this also was very nice when I read. Krishna Pada Padma Chinna. So there are various symbols on the lotus feet of the Lord and the hands of the Lord. He has from Padma Puran, and he wrote commentary on that, giving huge details about the same. So if Krishna's thing is there, then how about Radharani? Radhika Kara Pada Stita Chinna. So both hands and legs Chinna. So different symbols. He wrote a very wonderful commentary on that. And then when it comes to grammar, I don't know much Sanskrit grammar, but what I heard was that when it comes to the Panini's grammar that he has given, that doesn't have any names of Krishna. But different things when it has to be addressed, our Jiva Goswami gave names of Krishna. When it comes to something small, he gave one name. Something very big, if I'm not wrong, he gave the name of Vaman. So like that, different names of the Lord. So anyone who learns Srila Jiva Goswami's Hari Namamrita Vakrana, he'll remain Krishna conscious. He'll not deviate from the path. And then he also had these different grammatical work on derivation of Sanskrit words like Sutra Malika, Dhatu Sangraha, the work on verb roots of Sanskrit words, and then poetries, many poetries. Madhava Mahotsav, Gopala Virudavali, Gopal Champu, this is something which we keep hearing many times, Gopal Champu. Sankalpa Kalpa Vriksha, Kalpa Druma, and Bhavartha Suchaka Champu. Now these are not like small books for 40 rupees. You hand over it to people. They're huge. Yeah, bigger than that. Bigger than that. This is what Srila Jiva Goswami was doing. This is what Srila Jiva Goswami did. See, when we hear the glories of our acharyas, natural thing that will happen is we will develop connection with them. This is what I started the class with. And when we understand their glories, we understand how glorious this parampara is. And he was not an ordinary personality. He was a Manjari in the spiritual world. If I'm not wrong, Vilasa Manjari. And Manjari, that is eternal associate of Srimati Radharani and Krishna, they are coming down to help all of us to grow in Krishna consciousness. Every single person on the altar who are there as a part of Guru Parampara, they are not ordinary mortal beings of this world. They are Manjaris of the spiritual world who are assisting various gopis and sakhis in the service of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. They are coming all the way from there for the great personalities like us to serve us by writing these books, to give us the right direction what to do and how to attain the ultimate destination, ultimate goal, that is Krishna Prem. So whenever we hear about these personalities, we should also contemplate on another subject matter. Okay, the parampara is very glorious, but then what is my qualification to be part of this parampara? And then naturally one thing that will happen in our life is, naturally we will feel grateful to those devotees who pulled us into Krishna consciousness. Naturally we will feel very grateful to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who gave us this entire platform to come together and nourish ourselves and cherish Krishna consciousness. Therefore, it's very, very important. Any acharya we hear about, naturally our gratitude will be expressed towards Srila Prabhupada. Obviously, there are those acharyas also, but naturally towards Prabhupada. Because Jadi Prabhupada na hoito, tabe ki hoito, jiva na bahita kishe. If Prabhupada wouldn't have been there, forget about any parampara, we would have started our own parampara. We would have not got connected to any bona fide Sampradaya for sure. We would have started our own and be one of the dongi sadhus in this world. So let's pray to Jiva Goswami now for his blessings. We are not scholar like him. We are not great leaders like him. We are not great managers like him. We goof up so many different things when we manage. We are not great teachers. We are not those kids who are born with great intelligence. We are tuchha jeev in this world. The only thing that we can do is that we can beg and pray to them. Ohe Vaishnav Thakur, please bless us, please give shelter at your lotus feet, so that I can do some little bhakti and please all of y'all by assisting y'all in this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of spreading the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu far and wide in every town and village. Thank you very much. Srila Jiva Goswami ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.